Chapter 17. Let's check it out. Computer scientists have discovered that the most effective method of teaching human-like intelligence to machines is to give computer programs their own kind of dreams. These dreams, called noise injections, make the programs more flexible and adaptive in their thinking. Here's how a noise injection works. First, an AI program is given a real-world data set to analyze and interpret. It learns to process and make accurate predictions based on that data. Then, when the program is working well, it gets fed purposefully weirder versions of the same data. These new data sets are dream-like by design. In computer science, noisy data refers to data that is meaningless, that cannot be easily understood or interpreted correctly by machines. And so, noise injections randomly warp and recombine the real-world information in novel ways that are designed to surprise and temporarily confuse the AI program. They show the program things it has never seen before, things that don't make sense. These weird data sets are also often more sparse or less detailed than the original data sets. They remove essential data points and require the program to stretch and strain to try to fill in the blanks of what's missing. The purpose of noise injections is to make sure that an AI program learns how to handle stuff it has never seen before, things it's harder to make sense of. They ignore that the program doesn't assume all future real-world data will look exactly like whatever it has already seen. In other words, they safeguard the machine version from future shock. They teach the AI program to expect the unexpected and not freeze up when never-before-seen data comes in. Exercises. Numbers 1 and 2. Misspellings are a rich source of new words. One such word appeared in a report put out by the Colorado Public Utilities Commission in the early 1980s. While reading through this report, clean energy advocate Amory Lovins and a colleague noted an odd word, negawatt. It was a typographical error. The report writer meant to say megawatt, but the more Lovins thought about it, the more sense that typo made. Why not call a unit of electricity that is saved rather than consumed negawatts? Lovins floated the new word in a 1984 Business Week interview, then included it in a 1988 report called Negawatts for Arkansas, and in a 1989 speech titled The Negawatt Revolution, Solving the CO2 Problem. Negawatt caught on quickly and has been part of the alternative energy vocabulary ever since. In France, an environmental think tank calls itself the Association Negawatt. Mistakes are an integral part of language expansion. This process is comparable to the role errors play in evolution. A species' success depends on random mutations that evolve into valuable traits over time. In a similar sense, many useful new words have resulted from simple mistakes, such as typos, tongue slips, and mistranslations. Verbal blundering is integral to language. Michael Erard writes in his book, not something that intrudes upon it. Because human language has ways to deal with accidents and interruptions, they must have evolved alongside language itself. Numbers 3 and 4. A common problem many scripts suffer from is what I call toing and froing. This is when the action seesaws back and forth between scenes too many times in a sequence. Characters go to the same locales, playing the same beats, and refusing to take action. While this may be an accurate portrait of life, it's troublesome in plotting. It tends to create action that feels repetitive, makes characters seem passive, and bores the audience. Movement must lead somewhere, even if a character hesitates in the plot before committing to a course of action. These shifts need to be played out in such a way that they don't wear thin the audience's patience. Generally, we move through these beats of the story quickly to get to more definitive action. Toing and froing is easy to spot in a script. You look for the places in the screenplay where characters go back and forth between the same locations. For example, Your protagonist, Jack, is at home and calls his stubborn girlfriend, Jill, who isn't at her place. He goes to her house anyway and knocks. She's not there, so he goes home. At home, she calls him and tells him to come over. He returns to her house to learn she's leaving him. This action takes 5 beats to communicate that Jack's girlfriend is dumping him. This could easily be trimmed to 1 or 2 scenes. Wherever you seem to be going back and forth between locations, look hard and see if you can do it in 1 step instead of 3. If you need more than 1, will 2 do? You're looking to build firm action with a purpose that leads somewhere where something will happen.